Hi, my name is Barry Heidowitz. I'm a director here at Extreme Labs, and today we have um, Juan, Juan Vazquez, Dimas Vazquez, did I say that right? And he's going to be presenting about building the future autonomous agents in the next era of automation with Copilot. So feel free to ask questions throughout if there are any. Otherwise, I'll hand it off to Juan. Thanks, Juan.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, so let's take a look at what has happened over the last few months with Copilot Studio and these new autonomous agents, right? So we had this session in February this year about Copilot Studio, but I think a lot of things have changed and we have new features for this Copilot Studio and specifically for autonomous agents. So that's what we will be talking about today. So my name is Juan Vazquez. I've been a Microsoft certified trainer for almost 25 years, and I have experience working with Power Platform for the last few years, and I have a few certifications in Power Platform as a consultant, developer, and solutions architect. Also, I was awarded the MCT Community Lead for this upcoming year, 2026. And I've been part of the Power Up program, this Microsoft program where you can learn about Power Platform and you have access to a platform to do the labs and you have access to mentors, and it's a great program from Microsoft where you can learn about Power Platform and get some credentials from Microsoft. So with that, let's start with this session, building a future autonomous agents in the next era of automation, right? So this is about Copilot Studio. We will talk about what Copilot Studio is, the different types of agents, specifically how we can use conversational agents, and what is the difference between conversational agents and autonomous agents. And we also take a look at different tools like Power Automate flows, MCP servers, computer use, and basically have a couple demos that I want to show you and see how these all these components integrates in agents for created with Copilot Studio, right? So we've seen this every single time we present about Power Platform. Obviously, we have different products, but specifically Copilot Studio allow us to create custom agents, and these custom agents can use Power Automate flows to execute processes, or it could connect to Dataverse to access data from the tables. And that's what Copilot Studio is. Obviously, we have some other products that are part of this Power Platform suite, right? With this Copilot Studio, basically, you can create your own agents and you can integrate different knowledge, you can integrate tools. And this agent is basically the user interface for artificial intelligence, as we will see, right? Microsoft allow any developer or maker to create these agents and then deploy these agents into your own applications. So you can publish the agent into your website. Probably if you're gonna publish internally in your company, you can use Microsoft Teams to access the agent. So you have different channels where you can publish your agent. And this is basically based on your needs or your organization needs, right? Now, with we have different agents or different type of agents that we can create. Obviously, one of the most common or most simple agent is the retrieval agent, where basically you could add, say, PDF with the HR policies, and then the employees can ask questions to this agent, right? And that's a very, very simple agent. Also, you could add Dataverse as knowledge for your agent. And then if you have, let's say, orders in your tables, the users could ask question about how many orders do we have, what is the status for this order. That's basically a retrieval agent, right? It's the most simple agent that we can create. But then we have a task agent. What that means is, okay, I could ask questions about my order, what is the status, and all that kind of questions that we can ask to the agent. But then we could actually ask the agent, hey, I want to cancel the order 1, 2, 3, and then the agent could call or execute a Power Automate flow and change the status of the order. Obviously, we are using a tool to perform this task. Okay, but you could also actually, and we will see that later, you could also add, let's say, an MCP server that allow us to perform different actions. It could be in Dataverse or many other systems. Basically, an MCP server allows you to integrate different actions for your agent, right? So that's another kind of agent. But then we have autonomous agents. When you are using conversational agents, the user is basically talking to the agent and asking questions and asking to perform a specific task. But with autonomous agent, a user could send an email and say, hey, I want to cancel my order 1, 2, 3, and then the agent could trigger the process without even a user interface. Basically, the email that is being sent is triggering the process. So that's what an autonomous agent is. And we will be talking, and I will be showing two different demos for this kind of agents, right? So that's basically what this talk is about, right? The other thing is, as I mentioned, when you have your agent, you can deploy this specific agent in many different channels. It could be internally, say in Microsoft Teams, or it could be externally, probably in your website, or it could be published in your Facebook page. That depends on what you need, right? But you basically need to create the agent, publish it, and then you can choose a channel to publish your agent. Okay. Microsoft provides many different tools to create your agents. What that means is you could be a developer and create an agent, or you could be a maker or a citizen developer. And depending on your background, you could create the agents either using Copilot Studio. Okay, so this is for makers or citizen developers, right? So you don't need to have experience coding. You could just configure your agent, add different tools, add knowledge, and you will be ready to publish your agent. So this is for makers. You don't need to be a developer. But on the other side, you have different services, like services in Azure, Foundry. But in this case, you could create your own agent, but you need to know how to create code with Python or with C#. Obviously, you can customize your agent with more detail compared to Copilot Studio, right? So these are different tools for different user profiles or developer or maker profiles. And also you have Agent Builder or Copilot Studio Lite, where you want to create a very, very simple agent, probably that will only answer questions about HR policies or, I don't know, return policies for an online store. It depends, right? But today we're talking about Copilot Studio specifically, so we will be seeing these agents or these demos, right? When you start creating your Copilot Studio agent, you start, I think the first thing you need to know is who's going to be using your agent, right? Because you need to give your agent personality. So you need to give instructions like how this agent will behave, what is the type of conversation that it's going to have. Could it use emojis or not? Because it will depend on the user, right? If you're creating these for top executives, probably you don't want to use emojis, but if you're using for say students in a university, probably then it's a good idea to add emojis. So that's basically what you need to do to know the profile of the users that will be interacting with your agent, right? And then you can start building your agent now compared to a few months ago. Now you can create agents with Copilot, okay? So you can just specify with prompts what the agent is going to be and how it is going to behave. That's what you want to do when you're creating the agent. Then you add knowledge, you add different tools that we will see, and eventually you will publish the agent and you need to analyze and improve the agent, okay? It's pretty much like creating other kind of software where you basically want to be improving, adding more knowledge, different tools. So what you want to do is you want to start small, okay? You should not create an agent that is huge, because you need to know what the user needs and how it's interacting with this agent, right? So you need to be monitoring and improving this and adding more and more services. But like I said, start small. That's the best way to do it. So Copilot Studio is a tool for building agents, low code. You can easily add knowledge, add Power Automate flows, and integrate with external applications. And like I said, for the last month or weeks, creating agents with generative AI is being easier because you don't need to configure all the settings manually. You can just add prompts to the agent, to the creation process, and it will create the agent that you need, right? So once you create an agent, it's really, really important that you add knowledge to the agent, right? Because the agent will be answering questions for the users, whether it's about different policies or order status or, I don't know, different information. So after you create the agent, you have different knowledge sources, okay? Today, I'm going to show you that we can add a public website to your agent, or probably a database table, and the agent will be able to answer questions about all this information that you provide for the agent. SQL Server databases, or more advanced service like Azure AI Search. Actually, it could integrate with external tools like ServiceNow. So that's what you want to probably. This is the first step. After you create the agent, you start adding different knowledge, a public website, SharePoint, OneDrive. So you need to add this. And then you need to start adding different tools so the agent can execute tasks for your users, okay? So let me show you one of the agents that I have here. So this agent is basically, one sec. It is. So we have this agent named Contoso Support. So like I said, you can create an agent just when you are in Copilot Studio, you can just create a new agent here, or you can start, or you can describe what the agent is going to be. So if you have an agent you want to create, you can just say, hey, I need, I don't know, tech support agent, name, I don't know, probably tech Juan support. And then you can start creating the agent. So it will start asking you about how the agent is going to behave, what kind of personality it will have. So I have this specific agent named Contoso Coffee Assistant here. And once you create the agent, you basically have these uh, settings here. And then all the instructions that you provide to the agent with Copilot and with prompts will be created here. So everything you say in the process of creating the agent will be here, right? So right now I have two different knowledge sources, and one of them is basically a Contoso return policy. And I also added a table from Dataverse. So if I ask questions about here in my test pane, I could say, hey, what is the return policy here? And it should get the information from the PDF and respond to that, answer that question for the user, right? It should get that information here. So this is basically the information that it found in the PDF that I uploaded. It's really easy to add knowledge. Just go to this tab here, click add knowledge. You can just upload the file here. And then you can choose public websites. You can add Dataverse tables or any other sources. I did this in advance because for PDF takes a while to index, so I already added these. And then you have the machine order here, and this is basically a table here. But I think this is not the right agent. I think this is the agent, right? This one, because I already created some tools. Okay, so I have the knowledge, and then, but then what I have here is I also have the machine order table. If I take a look at that table here, I have different rows, different records on the table, machine order. And this is a Dataverse table. It could be a SQL Server table, doesn't matter. But here I have different, I have 5 records on my table. Let's say, let's add comments, order ID, machine name, order ID, order status. So here I have all this information, and I have the order status for my order. And basically what I did for this agent is I added this table as a knowledge for my agent here. So I click here, and then I look for the table that I need to include. I already have it. So basically what I did is just look for the table, machine order, and then just click add, right? But for now, since I already have it, I could ask question about my agent, right? And one of the questions could be, let's say, how many machine orders do we have here? I'm gonna paste. I don't want to type it. So I have how many machine orders do we have? Since we have the machine order table added to the knowledge, it should be able to answer those questions, right? So let's take a look. I just want to know how many, not more details. So here I have 5 machine orders, and that's pretty cool, right? Because we have that information from our table. But if I want to get more details about those orders, I could just ask the agent, or yeah, the agent, give me a list of machine orders, include the order ID, machine name, comments, price, and order status. When I click here, I should get the details for those specific orders. So this is very important because what we are seeing here is a conversational agent, right? This agent basically has a user interface, and this is basically a chat window where the user is asking questions. Hey, what are the orders that I have? This is the order ID, machine name, comments, and price. So if I go back to my table here, I have this specific order, 1,000 canceled, and the table name. And actually, I can look for the price just to make sure that I have the price too. And then it's 499. And if I go back to my agent, yeah, that's right. So I get the right information. What happens here is if I go back to my application and I get another order, this is order submit. Here, click submit. So I will see that I have this new record here. So if I refresh here, I should see this new order. And the great thing about this is that this specific knowledge is already on the table. It's part of our agent. So we have this new order. If I go back to my agent and I ask again, how many machine orders do we have? We should get obviously 6. If I get details, I will get a specific information. I could ask for specific information. So now we have 6 orders. If I ask the same question, give me a list of machine orders, I get now the details for those 6 orders. But that's only for the knowledge, okay? When we're working with Dataverse as knowledge, we could ask question to the agent and it will be getting the information from the table or from the PDF. But we are not allowed to make any changes to the data because this is not the purpose of adding knowledge. It's just answer questions. Okay, so when we're talking about conversational agents, we could add different tools. And one of the tools that we will see later is, and this is new modern context protocol. What you could do is you could ask the Dataverse MCP server, and you could execute actions like insert, update, or delete. But if you want to only perform a specific action, sometimes it's better if you create a Power Automate flow, like in this case. So I have this flow in Power Automate, and let me show you. So I'm gonna go to makepowerapps.com, and so if I go to solutions, agents in a day, and I have this cloud flow. So with Power Automate, you can create a Power Automate flow that could cancel a specific order, right? The flow will ask for the order ID, and then it will change the status. So here it is. So the order cancellation flow, it will get an input parameter named order ID, and then it will get the specific order, And with that, it will change the status for that order in the machine orders table. It will change to cancel, right? So this Power Automate flow could be converted to a tool in our agent, okay? So the tools in agents are basically actions that the agent could perform or execute for us, for the user, right? Well, all you need to do is just add a tool and then look for flow and then just add that specific flow into your agent. Or you could actually create a new flow here. Just click new tool, agent flow, and then it will create a new Power Automate flow that you need to create or design, and then it will be added to your agent. The great thing about this, and with all these AI prompts, is that now you only need to go to the instructions of the agent. So if you go to overview here, and then you go to instructions, you could actually just say, hey, when a user wants to cancel an order, use that specific tool named order cancellation flow. You should notice here that it's not saying, hey, you need to ask for the order ID, because with AI, it will automatically understand that this flow needs the order ID. So when you want to cancel an order, just say, hey, I want to cancel an order, and it will ask you for the order ID. Let's take a look. Here, we have let's take a look. Give me a list of machine orders. Here, include the order ID, machine name, comments, price, and order status. We have the 1005. That's the last one I enter here. Here. No, 1004. That's the last one. Right, this one. And as you can see, we have the order status as pending. But now, since I added a new tool, what I can do is just basically say, I would like to cancel an order. And it should ask me, okay, which order number you want to cancel. Before some time ago, you had to create a topic here and create the topic for order cancellation. You had to define which phrases would trigger the process, but now with AI, it will automatically understand what you want to do, and then it will just ask you, hey, give me the order number. So if I go here and say, okay, I want to cancel order 1004, it will be smart enough to call that tool and it will cancel our order. So if I go back and ask the same question, I should see that the order 1004 is canceled now because it triggered that specific Power Automate flow. Let's take a look. Right? Let's take a look. So there you go. Order ID 1004. Now it has cancel status. So that's really cool, because what you want to do is just start adding tools to your agent and just describe the instructions, and the agent will be smart enough to orchestrate all the execution of these tools, or of these, the process and tools and everything. That's what knowledge and tools, that's how they integrate in your agent. Now, let me go back to my presentation. So before, you had to define the topics, you need to define the trigger for the topic, and then you define all the steps. Now with AI, it's easier, because all you need to do is add the tools, add the knowledge, and give instructions to your agent, right? So with this, you can You can add many different tools. I added an agent flow, but you could actually add other kind of tools like MCP servers. And MCP servers is just like adding different actions for a specific system. If you add Dataverse, it will give you the opportunity to um, execute inserts, updates, deletes without even knowing how the API works, right? You don't need to be get more details because if the system has an MCP server available, all you need to do is just add that specific server into your agent, and it will create or integrate all these specific actions. So if I go here and I go to tools and I look for MCP model context protocol, you could add Dataverse MCP server here and add and configure. And with that, you could actually add new records, delete record, change status. So that's some things that you could do with an MCP server. So here, down here, you have MCP server, and you have a lot of different um, actions that you can perform using this specific MCP server. This is the MCP server for Dataverse. So if I could, I could say, hey, can you delete the order ID, say 1003? Let's see if that works. So it will ask me, hey, do you give permission to access the server? And let's take a look. So with that, you're adding uh, more tools to your agent. It's asking me if I want to delete the record. So I want to delete this order. Oh, it's asking me the question. Okay, machine order. Let's see if that works. And let's see. Okay. Okay, delete the machine order with order ID. Oh, let's take a look. So basically, it depends on the prompt, but basically, as you can see, it's trying to do the actions that I'm trying to execute. So that MCP server allows you to integrate all these actions into your agent. Obviously, you need to be careful because when you integrate these MCP servers, you are adding a lot of different potential dangerous action to your agent. So it says that it deleted the order ID. Let's see if that's true. So one interesting thing here is I already had the table as knowledge, but then I included the MCP server. Okay. Let's see if we still have the order ID 1003. Actually, I could go to the application here or just refresh the table. Let's take a look. So yeah, 1003 is gone because I just added that MCP server to my agent. So I gave more power to the agent. So just be careful because you are actually, and actually you could change which actions are supported by your MCP server here. You could go here and say, you know what? I don't want to have all the different tools available. You could say, I don't want to, to be able to delete records or update or create tables. I just want to probably create a record, update the record, describe the table, list tables, delete table. I don't want to. Just you can just delete or exclude these specific actions so the users don't have all these actions available. You can do that just adding these MCP servers. It's really interesting and probably it's more like it says, it's more for autonomous agents, okay, which we will be talking about, right? So be careful when integrating this, but I think it's sometimes it's better to create your Power Automate flows and just do what you need to do. Don't give your agent too much power in your data. So what is an MCP? Like it says, basically a tool that allows you to integrate these actions to your agent. You don't need to understand how the API behind it works because it just gives you the power just to integrate, and you don't need to. You can just with prompts you can ask to execute questions. So if you're not a developer and probably you don't know how a specific API works, if there is an available MCP server or service, you can just integrate and make your agent more powerful. So that's what this is. Just you need to make a few changes or make sure that in the environment the MCP server is available specifically for Dataverse, and then just add that tool to your agent, right? So this is basically a conversational agent that we've seen. But the great thing is when you can create autonomous agents, right? Autonomous agents are more like automatic agents. The user don't need to go to a chat window and start talking to the agent because it can just trigger an action based on a specific, action executed by the user, like sending an email, inserting a new record. So this is the demo that we just saw. We talked about a conversational agent. We included some knowledge. We added the MCP server. Now let's see how an autonomous agent works. And it's really cool. Conversational agents is basically where the user is talking with the agent, asking questions, asking to execute the specific actions like we just saw. But with autonomous agents, it's like a self-driving car, right? You receive an email and in a specific inbox, and then it will trigger the agent. It will know what to do. It will make decisions independently, so you don't need to add any more details. So they are proactive, independent, and adaptive. And I'm going to show you how it works. And we see another tool that is named computer use that it's really, really nice to integrate. It's in preview. It's still in preview, but should be ready now in a few weeks or months, right? So the autonomous agents is basically trigger when an action is executed. Say you get an email, like an email saying, hey, can you send me the upcoming trainings? And then you have knowledge, and then you have tools, and then you give the instructions of what the agent will do when this specific email with a specific subject arrives. You will give the instructions. So it's not really complicated, but you need to know this. You need a trigger. You need to have knowledge. You could create tools, or you could actually only have tools because it's not answering questions. It's more like performing a specific action. So then you don't need knowledge. Or if it's just answering questions, then probably you don't need tools, or you need both, right? But this is what you need to do. And then you need to give instructions to the agent in order to tell the agent how it will respond to the action triggering this specific action, right? So the first thing are triggers. Let me show you a different agent that I have here. A second. So this is another agent that I created. And the main difference here is I have knowledge. I have my personal website here. So if I take a look at this specific page that I included, is basically something about me. Beautiful, right? Some personal notes about me, my experience, things like that, right? Where my story and everything, right? So this, I added this page to my agent, right? And this is part of the knowledge for this agent, okay? And then in the agent, what I'm doing here is I'm adding some tools, right? One of the tools is MCP server, like I did in the previous agent. And then you have a send email tool. All you need to do is add a tool, look for Office 365, and then just add send email. That's what I need. And I also added my MCP server. So this is a table that has a specific training events. I have a training event for Copilot Studio, for Dataverse, for apps, Power Apps. I have the price, start date, training. Just basic information about my upcoming trainings, right? Fictional training. But then what I need to do here is I need to go to overview, and then you need to specify the trigger, right? You need to add a trigger, just click add trigger, and then you look for the connector and say, hey, when a new email arrives, just click here, next, and then you configure the trigger. What is the subject? What is the any filter that you want to apply to here? Like, hey, if they send me an email with request information for new trade, and then just create a trigger. I already did that here, new training request, right? That's the it creates a Power Automate flow automatically, and then I give the instructions for this. Here you go. When a new email arrives with the upcoming events info from the Dataverse MCP server, do not use the transcript because I had my Microsoft transcript or website. Just go to the MCP server, use the table, the events table in Dataverse, get the training name, start date, price, event code, event status, and any other details from the events Dataverse table. I'm being very, very specific. I need this from this table, right? And then I'm saying create a nice HTML table to add to the email response, add the table, and from the Juan Vazquez website, add a speaker bio and add to the end of the email. The subject should be these are our coming trainings. Use and then we have the tool that I included to reply the email. Okay, so that's all I need. Instructions, a trigger, and then the knowledge that needs to respond to that question. So if I go here and I send a new email here with that specific subject, and then I say, hey, can you send me the upcoming trainings? I want to learn something new in 2026. Okay, so I send that. Since I haven't published my agent yet, I can only test here, new training request. And then we have this small icon here. You can click here, and then you will see all the different times that this has been executed here. Refresh. I should see the new one here, the new request. Let's see. Okay, it might take a few, since we are testing it, should take a few minutes. There you go. And then start testing. So you will be able to run this autonomously, and it will trigger the that specific part of the agent, right? You see, sometimes it just doesn't trigger it. Let me trigger again. Don't know what happened. Okay, there you go. So you can see here that the action is triggered, a new email arrived, and then you will be able to see that it's connecting to the agent. So I don't know why. Okay. There you go. Looks like it's not. Let me try again. For some reason, it's not triggering this. Let me try the previous one. Oh, this is another action that I will show you later. Okay. Coming event. Try again. Let's see. Probably I should. Let me get this. Some reason it's like misunderstanding what I'm asking for. Oh, I see. I was using the wrong trigger. Let me refresh and try a new session. This happens when you're doing this live, right? Let's try again. Coming events info. Hopefully this time it will work. Yeah, it seems like it's working now. So we get the email, we test it, and then it start getting all the information from the MCP server. And then it gets information not only from the MCP server, but from my website, because the instructions say, hey, get the information from the upcoming trainings, from the MCP server, from the Dataverse table, and then get the speaker bio from the website and send the email. And now, as you can see here, I'm getting the information from for the upcoming trainings, the start date, the price, the event code, status. But at the end of the email, I get the speaker bio, like say, hey, Juan Vazquez, technology speaker, blah, blah, blah. But this comes from different knowledge sources. This is Dataverse, the MCP server, and this is a public website. Right? So this is what an autonomous agent is. Every time, once you publish your agent, and every time you get a new request for information about the upcoming trainer, the agent will trigger the process to get the information from Dataverse and then it will get the information from my website, and it will reply to that specific email, right? So that's how an autonomous agent works, okay? Any question so far? If you have any question, feel free to ask, right? So this is a very basic use case for an autonomous agent. But we have more tools that we can integrate in our agents. And one of these is, and this is obviously, this is in preview, it's computer use, okay? I really like what we will be able to do with computer use because it's pretty much like executing processes like if this was a human doing this, okay? So let me tell you about this. So imagine that you get a new, you have a form, right? Or a website where you enter data, product name, start date, number of students. This is a request for a training. So what you want to do is, and this could be an internal website or I don't know, a legacy system, but I just trying to explain with a form. So what I want to do here is that when someone send me a new email, and this email says, hey, I need some training, right? So I created the trigger, and the trigger is when you have this subject, new training request, and then you get an email, right? But the email in this case is more interesting because here we have an email, the body of the email say, hey, my name is John Smith, and I want to request a training for Power Automate for the 3 students, or it could say 10 students. I need this to start on January 1st. I work for this company, and my email is this one, right? So when this user or this customer send the email, and we get this, we have this email. So I created another tool named or a computer use tool, and this is really, really amazing. What I did here is I created a computer use tool, and I provided the instructions. And take a look, it's really easy. The instructions are basically open the forms at this address, fill out all the fields from the information received, and always submit the form after it was filled out. Don't ask for confirmation, just submit the form. This is the final step, but needs to be completed. I'm trying to be the more specific that I can, right? But then I created a few parameters. I need the company name, contact name, email, number of students, and so on. So this tool, once you add it, you have this available for your agent. And then what I did is I went to my instructions here, and I say, obviously I have a trigger, another trigger. I have a trigger, new training request. That's the one that I was using by mistake, but this is the one. So what I'm saying here is when a new email with the training request subject is received, get from the email body all the information required: product name, start date, number of students, contact email, company name. Send this information to the training request computer use. This is a tool that I created with all these instructions to fill out the form. Always submit the form after it was filled out. I'm really, really stressing that out. I need you to submit the form. Don't ask for confirmation, just submit. And then what I need to do here is I want to test this training, and I should see a new execution here. And I can click start testing, and it should trigger this tool named computer use. And let's see if that works. So this is in preview. For some reason, sometimes it doesn't execute the first time. Remember, we're testing. So it's going to training request and take a look. It's automatically pulling all the data from the email, like how many students, contact email, and so on, right? And then it should call that a specific computer use tool. Sometimes it takes a while. Remember, this is in preview. Let's see, computer use. It's taking. Sometimes it takes a while because I've been testing this many times. So let me see. Hopefully, this will eventually trigger that process. Because what I want to show you is that okay, it's another session. So let me see why it's not taking a look. So what you see once this is triggered, you will be seeing that it's filling out the form, it's entering the data in every specific field for your form, and it will execute that part of the it should open a browser and it should trigger that specific form, but for some reason it's not working. Hopefully I can show you that.
So we have a question. Do you have a moment, or do you want to wait till later?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
So there was a question. Somebody asked about where can we track actions that the agent performed, and in other words, they want to know how or where would they audit decisions or actions
Right.
taken by the agent. Yeah.
So basically what you want to do is you always need to go here to activity and take a look, and you can actually see what the agent is doing, right? Like here, it's getting the information, it's pulling the data. So here in activity, you have all that specific execution, right? Take a look at this. I think this is a previous execution that I did. This is one of the examples that I did before we started the session. And as you can see here, this is basically running that step. And then here is getting, okay, I'm getting 16 students. This is the email. And here also you can see screenshots from the agent. And actually here you can see that the form is open in a browser, and then it's entering that Copilot Studio in that form. And then you can see how the agent went through all the steps in the form, and eventually it submitted that form and finished the process actually here, right? So that's how this works, and you have access to take a look at all the steps that it executed. I don't know, let me try again. Let me try one more time so I can go back to overview, training requests, and let's try to submit again. Hopefully it will work. For some reason it's like block. Oh, let's try. Let's see if probably I haven't seen. Let's see view responses. No, it's not. But eventually you will see all the responses here. I think it's still running. Probably I have a previous execution blocking the new execution. So here it's initialized, but it's still in progress. So probably it's slow. Now, something really interesting about this is that computer use, so far, I only recommend this for autonomous agents because it's not really processing like really fast. So if you use this computer use for conversational agent, it will take a while and the user will see this agent working. So let me try to execute that here. here I want to run and let's see if it allows us to execute from here. Now it's like we have another session open and it's still processing. That's a problem. Since this is in preview, it's probably taking a while and it's not running. But like I said, you can go to activity and take a look at the previous execution. You can look here and you can see which step was that. So this is training, and this is one of the previous execution that was completed. And like I showed you, you can see all the steps that I did. It includes actually the screenshot for that and the information that received. Okay, so well, that's too bad that I couldn't show you live, but yeah, actually, it's like I said, it's in preview. So that's how computer use work. Okay, so in the bottom line is when you have an autonomous agent, you create the trigger. You can add additional tools like an MCP server. I show you when I received the email requesting for the upcoming training, it used MCP server and then respond to with the email. You can add computer use and then you basically test the agent, right? Any other questions so far?